Oh, hi. Um, Sorry, it's been a few days. I've had some insanely frustrating mobile telephone issues. Some of them, self-inflicted. Some imposed upon me by, I don't know, weird technology companies. And trying to port your number from one service to another here in the United States. It's apparently perilous, so do it at your own risk. Anyway, here we are. This is going to be a multi-part episode. I don't like editing, so I'm just going to post these sequentially, and you can watch them at your leisure. This is part one of X for episode, what is this now, 5 or something. Okay, so we are now underway with the basement remediation. Very exciting. I've cleared my schedule for a few days, put some money in the bank with some other jobs, and now we can afford some bits and pieces to get this started. The safety inspector came through the other day, as I told you. He said that this is a pretty critical issue, pretty obvious. Anyway, so we're getting started. So this is part one. I'm just showing you before. This is kind of going to be process. So here, if you can see that join. There. That join is that's where the old beam has been kind of spliced in with this new one. Never mind the laser. So this is the old beam here, and then they've sort of joined this new one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, what look like 2x8s, kind of laminated together to make a beam, which is kind of my plan when I replace the whole thing, except I might do it in steel or I might do it in 2x10s at least. 2x8s, it's no bueno. Also, hilarious, at this juncture, there's daylight between those two. Not sure if you can see, but there's actually a gap. There's nothing physically joining this one to this one. So at this point, this whole part of the old beam from here to the wall is kind of cantilevering, and it's slopping down, and it's kind of bringing this with it because there's nothing supporting that floor. So this is under the same stresses from old mate splintery timber column over there. So priority number one is to get a column in this location. Where there used to be one, it looked like it was rusted out. So what I've done is I've done some exploratory digging. See? Basically with my trusty mason's hammer, and with this pickaxe that was left here. So free pickaxe, pretty cool. Someone must have known that we'd have to be doing this sort of stuff, and they kindly left it behind. I've made this hole. Cracked all the concrete out, dug out all the old rusty column. Could make a nice bracelet. Not sure how you can revive rusted metal. There's got to be some kind of metallurgical thing you can do, right? Be quite heavy, but cool. So anyway, digging this hole. Plan is to dig it out. Well, couple plans, couple ideas. First, I thought I'll just crack all this concrete out because I need a nice level bed to put my cribbing. Okay, so cribbing is going to be temporary out of this treated 4x6. Cribbing is basically kind of like a Jenga stack of timber crisscrossed, and it's awesome at distributing load over a wide area, which is what you need for really high loads, high point loads like this. You want to kind of spread them wide like a snowshoe, so you don't go spiking into the ground, which, ground's hard. Ground is generally pretty hard, especially if it's under a building like this where it's probably been compacted during construction, and it's all, well, I don't know, technology was different back then, but it's pretty hard. But even if you put like a point, like even a 4x4, which is a pretty big point, onto the earth, just raw, it's gonna like just grind down into it. So I'm gonna build the cribbing on this, which means I need to like clear enough space to then compact and level that and get it nice and like level and consistent. Consistent is key. Like it's gonna settle a little bit, but as long as it all settles at the same rate, you don't want like hard bits and soft bits, and that's where you can end up with your footing or your cribbing, as I'm going to use, to kind of settle unevenly, get on a tilt, and then all of a sudden your jack and your post just boot out because they're not plumb anymore. You've just got that awful moment of inertia there. I did think, well, maybe I'll just dig deep, pour a proper concrete footing, and just jack off of that. Couple of thoughts about that. I want to actually lower the floor here at some point in time. So I'm thinking if I do that, that gives me a big lump in the ground that I potentially might have to move. Or I have to dig quite a deep hole now so I can pour it at a level that I won't be like messing with too much later when I dig the basement out. So I'm not sure. Plus, lazy, a lot of work in that, and messy. So what I'm going to do, since this is a priority, just supporting this beam, I'm going to just do the cribbing thing. I'm not going to jack fully off this until I've got other ones sorted out. I'm just going to use this to take load and see how it behaves. I'm certainly not going to like be raising the building by more than 1/4 of an inch in this location until I've got the rest of them set up. It's holding right now. If I raise it 1/4 of an inch and it fails or it's looking sloppy, a bit wobbly, and it boots out, I think it'll be okay. So it's kind of a critical but not like super critical area to just experiment on for the time being. So this is part one. Got to work fast. Light is dying. So in the next part of this episode, I'll have the cribbing and the jack and the post in place, and I'll take you through all of that stuff. Okay. See you in the next one. And shout out to Violet. Hello. Thanks for watching. It made me so happy that you're enjoying these. So thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.